tattooists, like, they just think the world owes them something, and like, just because you're a good tattooist doesn't mean you're going to have a massive following, and you've got to invest. You've got to put content out there that people want to see. You've got to do something different. Oh, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm going there and going, like, it looks like it's half done, so...
Trying to get you to work on days off.
Yeah, on days off or do extra hours, and like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
His teachers are like, oh, I've seen your dad on TikTok, and like, kids, he buzzes off it in his class and that, so it's mid for him, like, yeah.
Yeah, mate, he's probably like the fucking
cool
coolest
dad.
kid. Yeah, literally.
Yeah, it's class.
Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Alex Lloyd, and this is a 21st Century Tattoo. Nice, Pengerzz. Thank you for being on the podcast, man.
No problem, mate.
It's nice to meet you. Yep. And thanks for having us down at your shop. I know, like,
anytime.
Opening up on a Sunday, you know what I mean? Let's get straight into it, bro. Like, you're obviously known for your like large scale black and grey stuff, like big on socials. I guess what I want to know is, how do you do your shit so quick?
It's always the question you get asked, and it's like, I say the same thing. I don't think it's one thing. It's like a lot of little things maybe that I've accumulated make it the process a little bit quicker. Just so it's hard to sort of like zone in on one thing and right, do this, do that, and you'll get quicker. You've got to kind of do all them bits, I suppose.
And experience, I guess.
I think experience, like I say, once you've tattooed something so many times or so many different ways, you kind of learn what's going to look right, and you'll just naturally put that into another piece when you kind of have a similar kind of look, and right, if I put that there or do that, that's going to look sound. So it just speeds the process up without having to look back at your stenciling, your template, I suppose.
Yeah, man. I mean, how long have you been doing it now?
13 years, 14 years, something like that.
Okay, so
quite a while.
Tell us a little bit about like your artistic background, I guess, because...
to be fair, like pretty basic really. Like obviously standard in school, did little bits out of school, but never really looked to go down this kind of path. It was one of those things I just kind of fell into, really, to be fair. People just kept saying, oh, why don't you have a go at this? Like, and it was about like, maybe not. I got a few tattoos myself, and then I thought, you know what, yeah, I think I'd enjoy this, so that was that. Away you go.
You're pretty heavily tattooed. I mean, when did you start getting the pieces? Was it like...
I didn't start till I was 18. At 18th birthday, I went and had my ribs done, but it's awful, like. And then after that, just never stopped, really. I think most of the stuff I've done as well has been done like twice, 3 times over, so
it's like layering
serious hours of work. Like,
I bet. I mean, how many hours do you reckon you've had?
Hundreds, man. I wouldn't even like to say, like, literally putting dark black bits over the top of things now because I just want everything dark, like, so.
Yeah. Did you always? I guess what I kind of want to know is, like, have you always been doing that black and grey realism style? Like, what about
kind
that?
Of, yeah, really. It's always been. I think black and grey. You get a certain clientele, and it's kind of that's always more popular anyway. But once you start to do a lot of that, the colour kind of fades out anyway. Like, I do put bits in where you get like the eyes, the standard stuff like that. But like I said, when I do go to conventions stuff like that, I like to try and show that I can do that and stuff, and usually do pretty well with it. So
yeah, man. I mean, talk me through a little bit about then how you got into the industry. Like you said, you know, you've kind of been doing it a while now.
Yeah.
Did you like go out for an apprenticeship, and like how did you end up?
To be fair, like obviously once people kept saying it to me, it was like, right, okay, how do I get into this? Tried that route, the apprenticeship route, which was not having the most extensive portfolio of artwork, was quite hard. Like, people just like, well, no, basically get turned away at every door. But
was that round here? So you
really round here. And then I just went, right, do you know what? Ended up doing it the wrong way, obviously scratching at home. Got the kit off fucking eBay, China. And just started making a mess, really, to be fair. And then I got an offer from a place in Warrington, actually. It was set up by someone who was like kind of family. It was like, oh, do you want to come and work in here? Which was like, it was only 2 months into me kind of starting it. So I thought, yeah, it's a foot in the door, get in and go there. And then after that, it was easy then to get into other shops and like kind of just work with other artists and build up like that way and learn that way, really. Yeah, which man. I think is probably the best way to do it. Just work with as many different artists as possible and learn as many different techniques as you can to kind of get a good range, if I suppose.
Is there anyone then maybe in your like tattooing journey and those people that you've worked with, is there anyone who specifically like stands out to you that maybe taught you the most?
To be fair, the people that taught me more was when I kind of went and did like conventions and stuff. and started to work and end up being next to an artist that was actually mega, like, and then you can kind of just from watching them for over that weekend pick up a few bits. But I'll always pick the brains as well, or I'll get them to tear the tattoo apart. Do you know what I mean? I'll like come in and have a look at this, tell me what's wrong with it. You know, been nasty basically. Tell me like what needs changing, and they would, and I'd take it on board and I'd go away, and then next time when I come back, you know, let them have another look and say, have you improved in that year, kind of thing. And it was always an improvement. So yeah, definitely. Nice.
And who were they? Anyone in particular?
I've worked next to quite a few. Kyle Williams, Egg. He was one. Alex Whiteman. Even the likes like Johnny Firth, people that are quite local to here who I've ended up being in their studios when I'd get tattoos and stuff. And again, you just pick the brains and see what they're doing and that. And
yeah, man. Yeah. So obviously, like, I think you tend to find some artists go down the route of working in like big shops with loads of artists, and then some prefer to kind of work on their own.
Yeah.
You've obviously been doing it so long now, you're at a stage where you can kind of do that.
Yeah.
Talk to me a bit about like your studio, and you work with your partner, is it?
Yeah. She works in it. Well, basically, obviously, I just thought, you know what, why not teach her tattoo, basically? So that was a decision we made about 2 years ago now. Like I said, she does dot work, geometric kind of style stuff. And again, same kind of thing, not really the most like biggest of artistic backgrounds, but I think with drawing and stuff, it's a skill you learn. Like, you're not born being able to draw, you've got to practice at it, and anyone can learn to do it. So the more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. And she's took to it quite well, like, and she's doing really well off it. So
yeah, I mean, I work with my partner as well. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's quite a unique thing to be able to do that.
It's actually good. Like, everyone's like, "Oh, do you work with your partner like that?" But it's actually pretty sound, to be fair. Like, we just bounce off each other all day.
Yeah. Sick. And you're kind of covering a bit of bases. She does a bit of different style.
Basically. Yeah.
Yeah, man, nice. I mean, we spoke a little bit before we started recording about like the projects that you're doing now. Like, what's your what things are you focusing on? Like, what's your favourite stuff to do? Is there anything you don't touch?
Yeah, well, like, obviously I don't touch cover-ups anymore, reworks. And I went through a stage of obviously being able to do such a large sort of scale stuff, especially with back pieces. That kind of seemed to be the one that everyone's like, right, I want you to do my back, because it's one session and it's done. But I found like last year maybe started 50 maybe, and I reckon 10 people sat it in one. So it was like, when do I get you back in? It's already a year in advance. It's already solid booked. It's hard enough to get back in anywhere. Yeah. And then you feel a bit of a twat then, because like they're left with half a piece. They wanted to get back in. They start whinging then, like, but they have been warned. It is sore. Yeah. And it's a hard thing to be able to sit that and do that in one. So that's why I kind of like said, no, do you know what? I'm just going to do arms, legs, and no cover-ups, just free skin. Like,
I don't think people quite realise the commitment that it needs. And like you said, with having such a wait list,
it's hard. That's the main reason. It's because I can't get back in, and then you start getting what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm going there, like, it looks like it's half done. So
trying to get you to work on days off.
Yeah, on days off, or do extra hours. I'm like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
How do you do that? Like, how do you manage to kind of keep that balance? Do you know what I mean? Obviously, maybe now you're starting to, but like,
yeah, I mean,
you've made a name for yourself.
That's made it so much easier because of that. Like, knowing that diary, I open it for 1 hour a year and it fills in the hour. So knowing that's coming in regardless, like, I've been able to have that luxury of saying no to doing these things, or just like saying no, if I'm on my day off, it's my day off. No matter, you get people offering to pay double, triple the day rate, and you're like, it's not the money. It's just literally that time off is vital, like, in terms of me having a good head for the rest of the week or the start of the next week. So I just stick to it. Stick to your guns, like.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, it's so important. How do you maybe then strike that like work-life balance? How do you achieve that?
Again, it's just, I think once you've done it and it's just part of your routine, then naturally you're just going to carry on doing that, as long as you, like I say, stick to your guns and don't cave on that and do like the odd person here and there in or whatnot, because then everyone else needs to see that and think, right, well, he's got in. Yeah. Can I get in now? And that's when you start getting a bit more abuse again online, I suppose.
Yeah. No, I hear that completely. Who would you say is maybe your like main clientele then? These, obviously, it's people who want to get this stuff done like one path. There's obviously a market for it.
There is, yeah. Like,
And also, that, have you maybe always, so many questions, but I'm interested.
No,
do you know what I mean? Like, have you always been that quick? That's just progressed.
I think, but to be fair, like that, the speed thing was kind of a niche what I locked into early on, like probably 6-7 years ago, where I think it came about more through doing so many jobs in a day at one point, where I was doing like 3 hours. So I was doing like a 9-hour day, but like 3 jobs, and like having to make sure you start and finish on time, and just knocking them out. I think that just increased and made the speed, and then from there started to just do days, but just be able to knock out bigger pieces. But when you look back at the work, and like it was rushed, it was scratchy, it was not right and stuff like that. And then when you come to put it online, like, and you got your apps like TikTok and stuff, where you do get absolutely ripped to shreds on stuff like that. So I always said your haters are like you're best for actually picking out your faults.
Yeah,
so
biggest motivation.
And like obviously because they will tell you what's wrong with it, and when you're getting sort of 10-20 people saying the same thing, if you go back and actually look at it and take that on board instead of just saying, oh, just haters, blah blah blah. You can look at it and learn from that. Right, yeah, actually they're right. Go away, come back, improve on it. So
yeah, man. Yeah. What are we talking there? Are we talking like maybe saturation?
Yeah, I mean, in general, like, yeah, making sure it's fully saturated. The smoothness of the grades, the not seeing them mag marks, them needle marks in the skin and stuff like that, which you could see, because it's kind of like a salt and pepper shading, I'd say, where you're just whipping it in, and it would leave that scratchy kind of mark. So I think just changing your technique to iron out that, maybe having to spend an hour or so on the actual piece, but just to make sure that it is fully smooth, and the look difference is massive.
Yeah,
so
just by taking that time.
Like I said, like obviously still doing the pieces in one hit, but I might be doing 6-7 hours maybe on a piece now, rather than 4 or 5 what I was doing. So I'm still working at the same pace, like not working any slower. I'm just putting that little bit more into it, and the work's just gone up a level. And now people are looking back at it and going, actually, yeah, how is he doing that now? So
and maybe that's like this, do you know what I mean? And you can see how much you're striving to improve. And
well, that's the thing. Like I say, I'd always want to take them comments on board, so I will look for the bad comments and stuff, and right, let's have a look at that, go back, assess it, and then come back and improve on it. So I think that's when you're working on your own, that's your only kind of way to learn, really, I suppose, is having your faults picked out and then you going back and working on that, really.
Yeah, man. Yeah, 100.
I always said from the beginning, if in the earlier days, if you'd have had that more of criticism there, I probably would have improved a bit faster as well. Just when you're just working on your own and you're just looking at yourself and thinking, yeah, it looks good. You kind of get in your own little bubble, like you think you're fucking better than what you are, sort of thing.
Yeah, so. I was literally having this conversation with the last guest, and about how important that is, you know, because you can just get stagnant.
Yeah, of course you can.
You need to be around other people. Bit of a deep one. How do you define success?
I think it's that comfort of knowing that your money's coming in, I suppose, and you've not really got to worry about like the early days where it was like you take on jobs that you probably shouldn't have said yes to. You probably should have said no straight away, just because you needed to get that money in the bank and like to get you through your week and stuff like that. And like I think now, knowing that that's not an issue, and I know I've got a certain amount of money every month, every week, you know, it's coming in. I think that's the way I'd look at how successful I kind of got with it now. So.
Yeah. Getting that sort of freedom.
Yeah, freedom, really.
Freedom from it. Yeah, man.
And that I say about being able to turn away backs, necks, anything that you don't want to do, and just being able to say no to it is like, that's a massive luxury to have, sort of thing. And there's probably a lot out there that wish they could just say, yeah, I don't want to do that, but they can't. They will do it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, it's so true. There's a lot to think about, do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how I would define success. I guess, it's just being happy with what you're doing.
Yeah, you know? I suppose, like, I think, again, if I look back at the work from a few years ago, and I think, you know what, again, I thought it was better than what I was, and it probably isn't at a stage where you look at it and think, yeah, that's sick. Or now I'm looking at the work and like every time I do a piece, I'm like, yeah, do you know what? that's pretty sick. I'm happy with that. Like,
yeah, man.
So,
yeah, and so you should be. Do you know what I mean? It's like I think we take it for granted, or at least I do. I'm not going to speak for you, but you know, we're in such a fortunate position to be able to do this shit for our jobs.
Oh yeah, massively.
And like, yeah, man, I'm just grateful to be able to see improvement and to just work on it.
I think that's what I said. I said the minute I'm not seeing an improvement in the year, that's when I probably look at stopping tattooing, to be fair.
And can you ever see yourself stopping tattooing?
I can see me cutting it down again. Like I knocked it down, don't work the weekends anymore. I did start doing 4 days a week, but when the others are in the shop, you need to be here, so I might as well work 5. But I think I'd like to cut it down to 3 days a week, to be fair.
Yeah.
Just, it's enough money that week. And
if you can, why not? You know, give yourself that free time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not quite there yet.
No.
You've obviously been tattooing a lot longer than me. I will get to that point. But then I'm also like a workaholic.
Yeah.
I think to my detriment as well.
I think as well, at one point I did do 7 days a week. And I mean, just nowhere to be like. And even when it was locked down with the COVID stuff, obviously, how do I get a full diary for that time when it's already full after that for the next 6 months? What do I do with them clients? So
yeah, well, tell me, how did you deal with that whole situation?
I ended up putting the clients on top of when I started back, and I did 2 sessions a day, 2-day sessions a day for 3 months to get it all boxed off. And like, I just hated tattooing. There was no enjoyment in it because I just come in here at 9 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get out of here till 10, 11 o'clock at night. And it was just every day repetitive. Did not like tattooing one bit for that whole period. So yeah, not good.
Difficult.
Yeah, very difficult.
So difficult.
Yeah,
you know,
like I said, about being workaholic, I think now I've got that where I don't, you know, I can have that 4-day week or whatever. It's just nice to have, really nice to have. So.
Yeah, sweet. Does your missus work the same amount of time?
Yeah, kind of similar. Yeah, she'll do a weekend, like, but like I say, everyone wants a Saturday, so just charge a little bit more on a Saturday. So yeah,
different clientele.
Yeah, mainly. Well, I wouldn't even say mainly female, but she does a lot more females than what I do. I'd say mine is like 90% male. So
yeah, definitely. Is that like
it's that massive work though. I think there is girls that want that doing, but the lads just want to be full now. That's just the look, I think, now. So it's just a massive industry for that. So
100. So touching on that point, what do you tend to get then when you get these? You open your diary.
Yeah.
Like you said, for an hour.
Yeah.
You let all of those emails flood in, I presume, or DMs.
To be fair, like, I've tried so many different ways to, like, how can I do this? Because it's mad. There's queues outside the door halfway down the road. The phone just does not stop ringing. And then the messages, there's usually 3,000-4,000 messages come through over that sort of 24-hour period. So I used to be like, I'll look through as many as I can and pick out the best ones, but it's just an impossible task to do that. Like, by the time you've read one message and you go and refresh your page, there's another 20-30 minutes. You can't do it. So it's kind of is just pot luck. If I read your message there, I literally send you the details to get in, and you either take it or you don't. And then obviously I'll once it's been into the bank, I'll look back for the name and put you in the diary. Like that's the easiest way I could do it. Like, it's just mental.
Yeah, mad.
So, yeah, it's crazy. That's probably the most stressful day of the year for me. Like, I literally feel sick coming up to like knowing what I've got to do in that morning. It's a bad stress. Like,
does anyone help you do this?
Nah, this is the other thing. Like, I
feel like you need like a receptionist,
someone to do that. But then, like, when you work the way I work, in terms of doing such a large, like, obviously not everything can be done in one hit sort of thing. So when you get a message and they want this, that, they want 20 different things on a leg or whatever, it's like that. It's not going to be one hit. That's going to be, when you look at the way I work, it's 2 or 3 larger images over the leg. So if you've got to be able to speak to someone and know that person that's doing the diary for you has got to know that, and it's hard because you can't really get it. Like, they're not you, so there's only really you that can deal with that task, I suppose.
Yeah, I find it really difficult. My missus does my diary.
Yeah, I'd end up with clients in that I just didn't want in there, basically. So I'd rather just take it on myself.
And what are they doing? Are they coming to you saying, right, I want an eagle on my back? Or are they saying, do what you want to do? Or
to be fair, this is another good thing, I think. Like, I tend to get not so much free reign, but free reign in like composition and free reign in the design, because people can't envision something that big. Like, they need you to do it for them. So they'll kind of give you a theme, or they've seen a few images they like, and then they just leave it to me. So pretty much everything I do is kind of just free reign, I suppose.
Sick.
Which is sick, like.
Yeah, and they trust you to do that.
They trust you to do that, yeah. You get the odd awkward one that will be like, right, nah, I really want this there, or I'm like, well, I can do it that way, but it's not going to have the same look on. It's not going to flawless. Like most of the time when they're going to do that, it's going to affect my design in terms of the overall piece, because I usually put things where I want to put them.
Yeah.
Anyway, and to be fair, on the day when they come in, I can usually change their mind anyway. Just speak to them and say, look, do it my way.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You'd hope that they would trust you.
Yeah, usually they do.
I get this sometimes, and I get it because like it used to be, I think, when tattooing wasn't as popular, that only creatives got tattoos.
Yeah.
Whereas now, because it's so popular, you're just getting people who just like the idea of getting tattoos,
or just
but aren't creative.
Yeah. Some of them, like, you can just do what you want. Like, that's the worst thing you can say to me, like, because I spend however long doing a design in the morning, like, and I think, yeah, that's sick, and then they turn up and they're like, I don't really like that. Well, you said I could do what I want, you know. So I always say you have got to have some kind of direction or theme at least for me to go with, because if you're just leaving it up to me and then you turn up and saying, oh, I don't want that, I'm like, well, you've wasted my time as well as your own, because now you're going to have to sit here while I do your design.
And pay for it.
Yeah, pay for it, so, yeah.
Yeah, man. No, 100%. I completely get it. Right, let's talk about socials for a minute.
Yeah, sound.
TikTok, 1.1 million. You've got over 100K on Instagram. What I want to know then is, how did you get to that point? Because I think there's so many people I talk to now. Anyone coming into the industry now will know how difficult it is to build some following.
Yeah.
You must have been working on it for a while.
I mean, I said, like, you get this a lot where tattooists, like, they just think the world owes them something, and like, just because you're a good tattooist doesn't mean you're going to have a massive following, and you've got to invest. You've got to put content out there that people want to see. You've got to do something different, and like I said, I've got the guy who does my content for me ads. He's with me every month. I pay him every month to spend the day with me, to get content from me that sets me apart from everybody else in a way. So just spending that money and investing it on your business will progress you in you know, a lot, really, compared to anybody else that's just knocking out tattoos, putting it on there and expecting the world to clap their hands for them. So
yeah, just like banging a picture up.
Basically.
So what are you working on with him at the minute? Like,
well, I've actually just set up a new business, and it's I've not actually told anyone what it is yet. I've just been kind of like,
okay, this is a world exclusive.
Yeah, this is exclusive, and it is literally for the world as well. So I'm going to be running like a competition in terms of you can win free tattoos for life. It'll be limited to 2 sessions a year, wherever you are in the world. I'll fly you in, pay for your accommodation, or I'll fly to you, whichever's easier.
Yeah.
And it'll be £1 a ticket. So we're just going to open it up, and it opens it up to all like my Australian TikTok followers, American, you know, anywhere in the world.
Sick
Who's
idea.
not going to want to throw £1 at that? So yeah, we're going to see how that rolls, but that's going to be next month when I roll that out. So just making sure all the legals are above board before I put it out there. So
yeah, there must be quite like, you must have to adhere to quite like stringent rules on
there's
socials.
certain rules to follow. So yeah, just making sure that was right and setting everything up on the website and stuff to get it to be able to sort of translate in different languages for the other different countries, because I reckon it's going to kick off quite well. So
yeah, mad.
Yeah,
and that's going to be a stressful opening day.
Yeah, it will be a little bit, but I'm looking forward to it. Like, see how
I might have to chuck a quid on that.
Like I said, who's not going to want to throw £1 at it? Like I said, when you've got queues outside, your messages are through the roof, and that's people coming wanting to pay you nearly £1 a day. Do you know what I mean? So for a quid. Yeah,
man. No, I think it's good. And like you said, there's like, we follow all of these artists, or at least I do, you know what I mean? I'm a proper nerd in tattooing. I follow so many people. There's so many good artists across the world that I just don't know whether I'll ever get the time to go and meet, you know? So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. Well, I think, I know it was just like going back to that following, that reach kind of thing, what I've got with the TikTok and stuff like that. Like, how can I use this now while I've got it? Because I said it before, there's a lot of people that go viral online, and then 2 or 3 years down the line, they're not viral anymore. They're not current anymore. So you've got to kind of use that while you've got it now. So that's what I thought. We'll do that and see how it goes. You know what I mean? It opens it up to the globe, really. So,
I feel like you're doing focusing a lot more on TikTok at the minute than maybe Insta.
Yeah, I think because a lot with TikTok as well, it kind of bounces over onto Insta. So I think at the start of, maybe not last year, maybe the year before, I think I only had about 20k maybe on Insta. And then when the TikTok went off, that like quadrupled within a month, maybe something like that, just off people following from that app to Insta. So yeah, mad one really.
It's tricky to stay on top of that. Like it is, you've got like a consistent theme that you do every time, you know, show the design. Yeah. And I think that's probably the secret to it.
Yeah, I think it is, but then I sort of kind of found that like last year I think I had maybe 10 or 11 that went, well, I say over 1 million, so it went in terms of going viral with that. And this year I think I've only had 2. So I kind of thought maybe people have kind of got a bit used to seeing it now, so it's not as much of a wow factor to them. I have been trying to think of other ways and maybe trying to switch it up in it, and, you know, bring something else into it that will send it on its way again. But it seems to be more just when you've got a different kind of piece or back pieces. Back pieces always seem to be the one that everyone's like,
it's the scale, isn't it? It's
scale.
Impressive.
Yeah.
And it's
even though I'd say there's probably more scale to doing a full leg than there is the back.
It just looks,
it's just because it's a
flat. Yeah, it looks bigger.
Yeah.
Only probably artists would realise how long the leg would take, you know. But I followed you for a while, and that's the first thing that kind of caught my eyes. Like, this is the guy who does the big stuff backs, really quick. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, so it's impressive, man. I can see. What would you say is your biggest achievement to date then?
I wouldn't even say. It's hard to say. I'd just say having the shop and, like I said, being at that stage where I don't have to worry about anything. Like, forget all the awards and the convention stuff. Like, it's hearsay. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, in general, just having that successful business, I suppose.
Talk me through the awards. You've obviously got a couple there. So you do quite a few conventions.
Yeah, to be fair, like, it's one of them where I was always wondering, I think, it don't really matter. It's like something anyone can win one or whatever. And I do get that. And a lot of artists comment on that. They're like, it's just a fucking trophy. But, like, you know, you can anyone can go. It depends who's judging or who you are and stuff like that. So I kind of tried to make it my thing this last year to go and to win every time, so consistently, because then I think it matters a little bit more then. So yeah, I think I've done 10 last year and took 10 awards, so it was one of them things where I was turning up and like I'm taking this on kind of thing.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, you're talking about this like it's not impressive, but it is.
I think it was just that I just wanted to do it consistently, because I thought, if you just go into one, it could just be the judges, it could just be, you've got a bit of a following. They might, you always think maybe it is a bit fixed, but like I say, doing it, and especially bigger conventions like Tea Party at Manchester, where there's 500 artists there, like internationally, really top artists, and there's no third prize, there's no second prize. It's first prize or nothing. And I think going to places like that and then taking home, that's when you're like, actually, I'm doing good work here.
Is there any that you've not done, you've got your eye on?
The London one, really, what we was on about before, kind of. I'd like to go and do that one, but I'm looking more.
Are you there this year?
I'm not, you know. No. I had a bit of one of them years where I kind of said no to doing any this year, and then I think I've done 3. So, but after the last one and the stress of setting up, breaking all your stuff down, coming back the full weekend when I don't work weekends anyway, it's like I'd rather not. But I think now I'm just going to look at doing more international ones. I think just go and do a few around Europe, and that make it where I'm going and actually getting a good weekend where I can see some bits I've not seen before and stuff, and meet some other artists that I'm not at.
You kind of see the same every time. Where are you looking at going then for that?
Maybe the likes of like Amsterdam. There's a couple. I would like to go and do a few in the US, to be fair. Just because you've seen some like the scale of some of them. Like saying about Manchester having 500. Like I've seen like ones there like 1,000, 2,000 artists. Like I think that'd be good to just put yourself in amongst that many. Yeah. Sort of thing. So
yeah, man. 100. If you could give yourself one piece of advice for your younger self, what would it be?
It would have been to say no to bits sooner, basically. Yeah. Because there's a lot of pieces.
Is that in life in general, do you think? Or just
Yeah,
tattooing?
to be fair, yeah. But obviously with the tattooing stuff, like, there was a lot of pieces what I took on, and I just look back and I think, why did I even say, like, why did I say yes to that? Because now someone's walking around with that, and just, you wished it wasn't, kind of thing. But yeah, if I could say it to even just to any upcoming tattooist, like, stick to like what you want to do, and don't stray off from that just because you need the money, or, you know, you'll regret like putting that out there otherwise. So yeah.
Have you like maybe have you had any apprentices in the past?
I've had
like brought up into the industry. So
I had a lad for a while who was just a really good artist in terms of on the paper, but he just could not make the transition. Don't know why it was, to be fair. Like, when I've obviously taught my missus, she's not really had much of an artistic background and took straight to it, which is like, yeah, I think because it's such a technical thing, I think you've got to kind of have quite a bit of a good brain on yourself, I suppose, as well. You can't just be an idiot, if you like. You've got to kind of learn the technical side, and if you can take that up and apply it to the skin, technically sound, then you're going to do better and quicker, like. So
yeah, there will be, and I know there are a lot of people that will kind of look at the industry, look at people like yourselves who are doing well on socials, and kind of, I think people want all of this stuff.
Yeah, they want it, and they want it like that. They want it now. So it's like, it's not a short process. It's a long process. Like with Chanel, she's had it where, because she's been able to use my following in a way to build a clientele from the bench, she's kind of had a jump start in it. Like, ideal for her, like. But I'd hate to come in this industry now and try and start from the ground up, because I just think it's too congested.
It's difficult.
Unless you have got that
different,
where you're in a shop with an artist that's already very successful, then you've got a bit of a kickstart. But otherwise, trying to do it on your own, it's an impossible task, right?
Have you like done anything and branched out from just tattooing? Talk to me about like working with brands and collabs. I know you do a little bit.
I think that just come about through just the following building a little bit, and I think maybe even just brands seeing you do something different to other people and looking at that as an avenue for them to sell their product, I suppose. I have actually, the guy I mentioned before, Baz, obviously he's in the industry with model and stuff, and we are starting a brand up this year, so we're just going to delve into that. And
can you tell us anything about it?
Again, it's very early days, so we've got a few little trips to like go and see some factories and stuff in Turkey and places like that, to go and get some products kind of like made up and in the pipeline, and then get them out there. Hopefully before Christmas this year we'll be up and running with that. So yeah, just again another little branch out, like from tattooing. So
yeah, but still like LinkedIn as well.
It kind of is, because it goes with it.
Yeah, man. I think that's so important. I know you're sponsored by Atlas.
Yeah.
Are there any others? Have you got any other sponsors? You work with anyone?
Yeah,
how did that happen?
Just again through the Insta. Again, when it started to sort of build up a little bit, you just kind of feel these people kind of sniffing about and coming saying hello at conventions and giving you little products on the side and stuff. And some of them, it's not worth anything. You know what I mean? It's half the time it's just a bit of a % off, and you're just like, nah, I don't want that. But then you get others who will give you the products for nothing, or actually be a sponsorship kind of thing. Like same with, I had it for throughout last year with a company called Scoop and Stack. That was all my protein and gym stuff, like every month, like so yeah, just again, it's nice to have free stuff, like.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, I think like collaborations and influencer marketing and all that stuff is so important nowadays.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Well, I said this to people, like they're always like, "Oh, what celebrities have you tattooed?" And I'm like, to be honest, it's not really the celebrities you want. It's these influencer people that have got the following on the Instagram, where you want to be making your following bigger. Like, it's all right tattooing some big celebrity from around the corner that everyone knows, but no one follows. You know what I mean? So you've got to. Yeah, I think influencers are definitely the one that's good to get. If you can get them kind of quite a few in there, you're gonna build yourself off that anyway, because people especially are following them usually for stuff like tattoos or the clothing and stuff, and then you just link to that straight away. So
yeah, man. Oh god, yeah. I mean, I still like now get sent references and bits and pieces of tattoos that are on people.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like TikTok itself. I think TikTok's a slightly different audience as well. I think it can be slightly younger.
Yeah,
and you know, people are screenshotting Pinterest. All this
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
stuff.
It's mad because you'll get artists. I'll get artists that'll send me pictures of my work, like saying like the clients have brought that into the shop, like blah blah blah. Obviously, we'll change it up and stuff like that. But there's a piece, there's a fitness guy, Lewis Harrison. I don't know if you've heard of Harrison Twins.
Okay.
They're massive, like millions of followers on Insta stuff. And I did his neck years ago, and it's like a lotus with 2 butterflies either side, and then 2 mandalas on the traps, and like. That tattoo is everywhere now, like everywhere. And then people that come in and they'll bring it to Chanel, like, oh, I want this, and she's like, that's my original.
And they don't know.
Yeah.
It's so
and they're just like, obviously, Lewis flew me out to Marbella in June, I think, maybe the month before, to go and work on him out there and do some bits on there. So while I was out there, there was another guy, and he's literally copied every tattoo what he's got on his body, like. Mad. I was just showing him. He was like, "Yeah, no, I've seen it."
It must be sick to know, to like kind of see your stuff out and about.
It's mad now. Like when I went up to Scotland last weekend, obviously 4 or 5 hours up the road to a little event up there in Scotland, and there was so many people that come up to you and they just like, Pengerzz, TikTok, like it's proper surreal when you're there. You're like, this is weird. This, like,
yeah.
It's
I
mad.
think I was just visiting, but I was at the Liverpool convention about 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I think you were there,
right?
But yeah, man, like it's cool. Like the conventions and stuff are sick.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of meet these artists. What I'm trying to do with this podcast as well is kind of. People can feel like they've met you before.
Yeah,
they
just
have,
get a little bit more like, more delve into your life, I suppose.
Face behind the name, man. Do you know what I mean? Like we're all human. Yeah, sick. What are you most grateful for?
In terms of tattooing, or just in general?
Generally,
generally, I suppose just having a good family life, mate. Just nice, no stress, and little lad look like classmate.
Are you kind of born and raised around here?
Yeah, to be fair, like 10, 15 minutes down the road. So
can you see yourself ever moving?
To be fair, I think I could, yeah. But I think until the lads sort of left high school and stuff like that, like I wouldn't want to move now, or he's kind of going, he's like at that age, he's just starting high school. It'd be a bit of a mad one to just rush off somewhere, sort of thing. But I think it's one of them things where you can take it anywhere now. It's not,
how old is he?
10.
10.
Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. And is so does he live with you? Like, what's your
yeah. We all live together, like, so.
Do you think he's going to be a tattoo artist?
I don't know, because like.
Would you want him to be?
Not necessarily, no. Just whatever he's happy in doing, like, just enjoy yourself, mate. So yeah, it's a weird one because he has done little bits on like bits of fake skin and stuff, like, but he was a bit younger and he used to like ask like, Dad, can I, if he was in here for the day, like, Dad, can I have a go? I'm like, yeah, sound. But like now, I think just because he sees it so much, it just don't really like faze him, like, or anything. Like when you go and pick him up from school and stuff, and the other kids like they'll be like staring, thinking, whoa, like. But he just sees it all the time. It's just nothing to him.
What you mean when you turn up?
It's a bit it's a bit mad for him, like, so.
Yeah. Love it. I love it though. I think it's great.
Yeah, it is class. Like.
Who knows, you know? But like, he must be artistic, I guess. You're kind of seeing that coming through. Yeah,
he is in a way, but like, he's just like me when I was a kid. He's just 100 miles an hour, like, so it's mad. But he buzzes off like he'll watch the lives on TikTok and stuff like that, and like comment, "Hi, Dad," and stuff like that. Yeah. Or his teachers are like, "Oh, I've seen your dad on TikTok," and like, kids, he buzzes off it in his class and that. So it's mid for him, like, yeah,
mate. He's probably like the fucking
cool
coolest
dad.
kid. Yeah, literally.
Yeah, it's class.
So good, man. Yeah, like, what do you wish then maybe you had more time for, like?
Like I said, I think I'm at a stage now where I've kind of hit it well, and like I'm like, that was the main thing for me, cutting down the weekends and spending some more, you know, doing the bits that I want to do as well as the family stuff. So yeah, it's I think I'm at that point now where I'm pretty happy with the balance kind of thing. So.
Yeah, man. I'm still trying.
Yeah,
I'm not there. I'm definitely not there. Is there anything then on your bucket list? I want to know, like, life bucket list.
It's just going seeing other parts of the world that I'm not seeing yet. Like I said, just traveling a bit more. Yeah, I've actually like booked out the full summer of next year. Just obviously when he finishes goes to start secondary school, and then that sort of 6-week period where he's off, we're just gonna go wherever we can. So that's 6 weeks and just enjoy ourselves. Like
sick.
Before he goes back to big school, I suppose.
Do like theme parks in America.
Yeah, just go and have a blast. Like.
I need to go travelling. I need to do more. Like I kind of came straight out of school, went into uni, went from uni to work. Like, haven't had the time, you know, when I speak to all these people. Like I had Dean Gunther on the last episode, and he was like, he's been all over the place.
Yeah.
Did like that cruise.
I've seen this
tattoo and cruise.
Yeah, I've seen that. It looks pretty good, that, to be fair.
Does look pretty good. Just for like going to see other parts of the world.
Well, that's it. Just meet different. Obviously, you meet a lot of different people anyway, but again, I think it's just dead interesting. The stories you hear, it's always a different story every single day in here. So it's class to like pick people's brains as well. Like, so,
have you had any like interesting clients?
It's because they come in like my clients now. Like I had a kid from Denver on Wednesday. It's just crazy. Like halfway around the world just to get a tattoo. So just people like that just intrigues me anyway. The fact that I've been able to reach them and they're willing to come all that way. It's a madness. Like.
Bro, it's a good, man. It's a testament to your work, you know.
Yeah,
like you've worked hard.
Like I say, I worked hard, but I think targeting the way I've targeted and going out like social media and being able to use that well is definitely put me at an advantage to the others. Like, so.
Yeah, 100%. I was having this conversation. One of the guests, which was a question from a previous guest, was like, would you still be where you are today if it wasn't for social media, you know? And like, how important is social media in tattooing? And
it's massive. I don't think it's not like, even if you could be the most incredible artist in the world, set up a shop down the road and struggle for work every week if you didn't have socials. So it's part and parcel now. It's the main advertising you get, and it's free.
Literally, well, I mean, the way they're doing it now,
it's kind of getting to that point. But
so like, Instagram's at a point now where it just won't show your stuff until you pay for it.
It's already done it before. It's kind of stole from another app with like the stories from Snapchat. Again, Snapchat then kind of died. It's kind of doing it with TikTok now with Reels and stuff, where just normal pictures and that are getting no reach, but your Reels and stuff are doing way better. So people are delving into that, and it will kind of end up like TikTok, I think. So
I actually think TikTok's winning because like Instagram's now changing themselves to look like
TikTok. Yeah, I get that. I do get that. But again,
but you're going to be all right because
but again, I said it. I've only had like 2 proper viral videos this year, and like some of the other videos, and regardless of you following, like you're only hitting 50,000-60,000 views, and it's like there's you've got over 1 million followers there. Why is it not reaching out like it was doing last year? So I think there is some kind of algorithm coming into TikTok. So again, they're gonna do because it's a popular app and they want to make more money off it. So it's always going to happen that regardless.
Yeah, man. Right, the nerdy bit. I guess I want to now know, like, what you kind of use equipment-wise. Is there anything that you always stick to, like machines, needles? And I also wanted to know, like, a bit about your design process, how you kind of construct them and where you're getting your references from. Machine-wise, always use Shane. Yep. Like, I use the Sonova Unlimited at the minute. I think it's 3.5. Yeah. I've used that for the last 3 years, maybe something like that. But I do go through them pretty quick. Like they probably last 12 months for me, and then I need a new one. I don't know if it's just the sheer speed I'm going at or what. Like maybe the fact I just leave them running on the side all the time as well. Like, probably.
I'm not using
burn the motor out.
Burn them out. Yeah. So I always use Shane. And I think they're such a hard hitting machine. Like it definitely suits me for the way I work. Like, and then again, Atlas carts. I use another guy. They're called Chakra. It's a guy that just comes to the shops, that sort of thing. And I use his mags, and they're mega like.
You're using like big groupings.
Yeah, like 27 curved is probably like the go-to needle for everything. But I'll go as big as a 49 for like big areas of black. Like So it's. Big needles always, I think again that's just another little how you do it so quick, sort of thing. But
much line work, and how are you getting
yes,
I used
to not do as much line work, and I think I kind of look back and I think just a lot of the time now, even if it's not a black line, if it's just a grey line, can just crisp it up that little bit more. And for the sake of it taking me an extra 5 minutes, it's really not that much time that I'm knocking off it by not doing it. I'm just cleaning up the work by doing it. So I'll always go and do that now.
I guess if you're doing it in one pass, you don't need to go in and bloodline. You can just go in, bottom to top.
Yes, that's the way I work. Just bottom to top, just work up. Might outline a little bit of a section and then shade that next bit. I usually tend to find I'll be like sort of at an elbow maybe in like the first 2 or 3 hours, cover that, work on the top section.
Fine.
Just, if need be, come back down and do a few little bits at the end, but it don't tend to need it, to be fair.
Yeah, nice. And what about your design process? How are you?
Again, I think because
Procreate?
Yeah, Procreate. I think just with a lot of the black and grey stuff, it's more realistic images, so everything's out there. It takes you, if you know what you're looking for and how to look for it, it takes you minutes to find the images, and then Procreate again. It's not a long task really to sort of clip bits up together and.
Seeing you kind of almost show the stuff on like models of legs and arms.
Yeah.
Is that something new you started doing?
I just do that just so they can kind of envision it, I suppose. Before they'd come in and I'd just kind of have each bit sort of already printed and templated, and then I just kind of lay it out on the table, if you like. I'm like, I'll do this and that, and they just have to use their imagination in a way, whereas I think just having that app and it's just been so quick and easy to use, it's right, this is how it's going to look, and it's good for them to see, sort of thing. So.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's so important. You know, people need to be able to actually, like you say.
I'll get eyes and go, oh, well, do you not draw anything? I'm like, well, you do draw bits, but it's usually mostly on the skin when I'm actually using a Sharpie or a pen to draw. Because why would you, like, for example, a rose? Why would you spend 2 hours drawing a rose when you could just literally go and grab one from an image of a rose? It's like, it makes no sense to me to be spending all the time doing that. So. It might be lazy in some people's eyes, but
I don't know. I don't know if I agree, because it's like that's your thing, you know.
Yeah,
and that's what people come to you for.
Yeah. I think if it's a certain style and it's a very custom look, maybe, or like I say, if you're doing something like traditional or neo-trad or something where it is a more stylized rose, then obviously you would draw it. But when you're doing realism, it's use the real image. It's just logic, really.
Yeah.
So.
And you say obviously people are kind of travelling to you and that. Do you kind of try and tend to book like back-to-back days?
Yeah, I always say like.
And what are you charging for a day now?
I'm charging 8 for a day.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that up again, to be fair, next year to 1,000, and then I'll probably stay at that. And I don't think I'll ever increase it on that, but. I suppose there's that many people that I want to pay. They want to pay double, triple just to skip the queue. Like I could probably fill the diary on them, so I could probably put it up again. But I think then you're targeting a certain type of audience. Then that you kind of cut out a lot of people that might want work done and appreciate the work a bit more. And you're cutting them out because they just literally can't afford to pay that kind of money. So I'd rather not go too expensive. Do you know what I mean? Keep it.
That's it. But where's that line?
When I just said, I'm like, obviously, what I'm doing there in one session or 2 sessions, say it's an arm. If it's £1,000 a time and it's 2 sessions, 2,000. I don't think that's really expensive for a full sleeve in terms of getting it done anywhere else. It's just a bigger hit. Doing it in one sort of thing, so
yeah, so true. Yeah, some artists
you just kind of got to justify it in a way. Like, yeah, it's a big heavy hit doing it like that, but it's done. Or you can go and pay in session work and get it done elsewhere and probably end up paying more. So
yeah, man. So you don't do hourly or minimum. It's just like days. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, cool, man. Nice. I wanted to ask you the question. What we kind of try and do is I'll leave there's a question that's been left for you from the previous guest.
Yeah.
Deep one. So the previous guest wanted to know,
are you scared to die, and where do you think you go after you die? Is there life or not?
Fair, no, I don't think I'm afraid of dying, to be fair. I think I'm more afraid of what you leave behind rather than actually just not being here, sort of thing. And then in terms of afterwards, it's just an endless conversation that I think it could be.
Are you spiritual, religious in any way?
I kind of am, because I do like that psychedelics. So you kind of get a little vision and stuff like doing that stuff like that.
Yeah, mate, 100.
Yeah, so
you hear so many stories of this. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what to believe. You know, no one knows.
It is a mad one.
I don't think it makes sense that like we have like you just that's it when you're done.
No, I don't. That does. Yeah, that makes less sense than there being something or you like. I suppose your spirit, your soul, kind of going to a higher place. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Have some more psychedelics. Maybe.
Yeah.
Have you got a question then maybe we can give to the next guest?
If you weren't tattooing, what would you be doing now?
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Love that. So yeah, cool, bro. Let's just tie it up. What I'd love to know really then is like where you're going to be. Have you got any conventions and guest spots on the way? People, I presume, can't get a booking with you right now. When are you opening that diary?
So the diary will be open again on the 1st of December this year, and that'll be for September, October next year to August of the year after. So yeah, that's when that's opening. Like,
yeah, quite far.
It's a lot. Well, it's just one of them. Like I say, it's potluck whether you get in or not. I've not figured out an easier way to do that yet. If I do, then
God knows how I managed to get hold of you for this chat.
But yeah, and to be fair, it was like a busy time when you messaged me as well. And I must have just been flicking through, and I caught like you can kind of read, just glance read, and know when it's just something about actual booking in, or it's something like that's different. And I can't remember what you actually said to open the message, but I clicked on it straight away.
Yeah.
So.
It's perfect. Yeah, sick. Conventions, guest spots?
Conventions, like I said, I've not actually got any more planned this year. Same with guest spots. I've just kind of been wanting to just do my own thing in here and use my weekends for my own kind of thing, and been obviously going away quite a bit this year and a few festivals and stuff like that. So
yeah,
that's come higher up the list than doing the conventions this year for me. So I will be back to it. I would have said next year, but again maybe internationally sort of thing.
Yeah, man. Well, I love your stuff. Like, I look forward to kind of seeing where you take it. You know,
go from here.
Sounds like you've got some really exciting
I got good
bits
ideas, and I just like I say, I always just look at it as a business rather than just looking at it as tattooing. I think treating it that way, you're gonna invest more into it. You're gonna push yourself that bit harder and go a bit further with it. So
yeah, man. Well, yeah, we
cool.
Look forward to seeing it all, man. And thanks again for having a chat with us today. It's been cool.
Anytime, mate.
Appreciate it, bro. Thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast this week. Don't forget to hit the bell icon and the follow button to be notified of every new release wherever you listen to your podcasts. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button on YouTube as well. I'm Alex Lloyd, and this is 21st Century Tattoo. Thanks for listening.